UFC lead commentator Jon Anik recently revealed a surprising and uncomfortable side of his relationship with the promotion during an appearance on the Jackson podcast. While discussing the demanding nature of his job and the grind of preparing for consecutive numbered events like UFC 324 and UFC 325, Anik opened up about a contract clause that clearly frustrates him. Despite being a full-time UFC employee and one of the most recognizable and trusted voices in the sport, Anik explained that his contract allows the UFC to terminate him at any time without cause. He noted that this type of language is extremely unusual in broadcasting agreements, adding that it was the first time his own agent had ever encountered such a clause in a deal for a broadcaster. The way Anik described it made it clear that this lack of job security weighs heavily on him. Anik acknowledged that many broadcasters in comparable positions benefit from guaranteed contracts, something he does not have. For someone who dedicates countless hours to preparation, research, travel, and voice work, the absence of contractual stability has been a growing concern. While he joked that fans might rebel if he were suddenly let go, the underlying frustration in his comments was evident. He emphasized that although he is technically a full-time employee, his situation feels closer to a fight-to-fight arrangement due to the absence of guarantees. Anik also spoke about the logistical challenges of calling back-to-back pay-per-view events, explaining how he must prepare for dozens of fighters across multiple cards simultaneously, often pre-recording voice work for one event while still fully immersed in another. For fans, this candid moment was eye-opening. Anik's comments offered a rare glimpse behind the curtain at the realities faced by even the most established figures within the UFC, highlighting the intense workload and lack of security that comes with the role. Diego Lopez has promised fans that his upcoming rematch with Alexander Volkanovski will look nothing like their first meeting. While many fans remain skeptical about the matchup, believing the initial fight already told the full story, Lopez is confident that this second encounter will be a completely different test. Lopez openly admitted that the first fight was more difficult than he expected. He praised Volkanovski's movement, discipline, and ability to execute a flawless game plan. According to Lopez, Volkanovski's footwork and positioning made him hesitate in key moments, particularly when it came to committing to takedown attempts. That hesitation, he says, played a major role in how the fight unfolded. Since that loss, Lopez claims he has made sweeping changes to his preparation. He took a hard look at his previous training camp and identified several weaknesses, including distractions and a lack of structure. In response, Lopez stripped everything back and built a private gym exclusively for himself and his team. With a dedicated cage and a controlled training environment, he believes he can now focus entirely on sharpening his skills without outside interference. Lopez explained that his confidence is at a completely different level heading into the rematch. He says he has fixed the issues that prevented him from fully committing in the first fight and feels ready to take advantage of any opportunity that presents itself. If a takedown opens up this time, he insists he will not hesitate. Reflecting on the first fight, Lopez admitted that a sense of ego held him back. He believed his preparation was sufficient and didn't feel the need to address smaller details in his camp. After the loss, he realized those overlooked elements mattered far more than he initially thought. Since then, he says everything has been corrected. Every aspect of this camp has been designed specifically to counter Volkanovski's tendencies and patterns. While fans may still question the necessity of the rematch, Lopez has made it clear that this fight represents a chance to prove he has evolved and to show that he belongs at the highest level. Michael Chandler has weighed in on the highly anticipated UFC 324 matchup between Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett, offering a balanced but confident assessment of how he sees the fight playing out. While acknowledging Pimblett's growth and underrated skill set, Chandler ultimately believes Gaethje holds the edge. Breaking down the matchup, Chandler described Gaethje as the more complete fighter, citing his experience at the highest level, technical refinement, and ability to thrive in chaos. According to Chandler, Gaethje's resume against elite competition gives him a significant advantage, especially in high-pressure fights where composure and durability matter most. That said, Chandler was careful not to dismiss Pimblett. He He noted that many fans underestimate Paddy based on his personality, appearance, and trash talk, rather than his actual ability inside the cage. Chandler emphasized that Pimblett's fight IQ, patience, and timing are often overlooked. Drawing from personal experience, Chandler recalled sharing the cage with Pimblett and seeing firsthand how calculated and dangerous he can be. He highlighted Pimblett's long reach, accurate kicking game, and measured approach, all of which make him a legitimate threat. Even with that respect, Chandler sees Gaethje as a different kind of challenge altogether. He described the highlight as ferocious, relentless, and constantly moving forward with pressure that few fighters can sustain. If forced to make a prediction, Chandler leaned toward Gaethje emerging as the likely interim champion, while stressing that the fight is far from a guaranteed outcome. Chandler also hinted at major developments in his own future. He revealed that discussions are ongoing with the UFC regarding a potential Conor McGregor fight at the White House, suggesting the likelihood of that matchup is higher than ever. With momentum building, Chandler confirmed he is preparing to return to training soon, fully focused on a June timeline. If the opportunity materializes, he made it clear he intends to be ready to deliver something explosive. Undefeated welterweight contender Michael Morales has confirmed that a massive fight with lightweight champion Islam Makhachev is actively being discussed, revealing that a potential title bout is now officially in the works. Morales shared the news during a recent interview with Spanish ESPN journalist Papa Legospi, shedding light on both his future and a recent controversy surrounding his professional record. According to Morales, discussions with the UFC are already underway regarding a championship fight against Makhachev, with June or July being targeted as a possible date. Until now, the matchup had only been rumored, with speculation linking it to a potential White House card. Morales' comments strongly suggest the UFC is seriously positioning the fight for that event. Adding further credibility, Makhachev himself recently revealed that the UFC offered him a fight with Morales back in January, an offer he was unable to accept at the time. Morales also addressed confusion surrounding his record on Topology, which was briefly altered after older bouts were reclassified as professional fights. He explained that the issue stemmed from a televised competition in Ecuador back in 2017 called The Last Fight. Morales clarified that the bouts on the show were clearly labeled as exhibition fights and were never intended to count toward a professional record. The format featured shorter rounds, a tournament-style progression, and varying weight classes, similar to The Ultimate Fighter. While Morales openly acknowledges that he lost one of those exhibition bouts at age 17, he emphasized that it was never contested under professional MMA standards. He noted that the fight did not meet the criteria used by Sherdog or Topology and should not have been retroactively added to his record. After discussions involving his manager, the show's producers, and Topology officials, the issue was reviewed and resolved, restoring Morales' undefeated 19-0 record. With the controversy behind him, Morales is now fully focused on what comes next. He confirmed that fight number 20 will be the biggest of his career, stating that a title fight is actively being worked on, and that everything now depends on the health and availability of his opponent. Confident and ready, Morales made it clear that he is prepared for the opportunity when the call comes. Tsarukyan didn't hold back after recent footage surfaced showing Paddy Pimblett being submitted at a grappling event, using the moment to take a public shot at the UFC lightweight contender. The incident quickly caught the attention of the MMA community and sparked a sharp reaction from Tsarukyan on social media. Pimblett competed at the King of the Mat grappling tournament, where he was submitted via calf slicer in a result that surprised many fans. The clip circulated rapidly online, and it didn't take long for Tsarukyan to weigh in. Reacting on X, the Armenian contender mocked Pimblett's grappling ability, questioning earlier claims Pimblett had made about being able to out-grapple him. Tsarukyan's post was blunt and dismissive, clearly intended to undermine Pimblett's credibility on the mat. The exchange didn't stop there. Tsarukyan also appeared to take aim at Ilia Topuria in a separate Instagram post. Sharing a training video, he joked that he had finally found the perfect sparring partner to help prepare for Topuria, referencing comments suggesting Tsarukyan wouldn't be able to secure takedowns against him. The post was widely interpreted as another sarcastic jab, continuing Tsarukyan's recent trend of engaging rivals online. The reaction highlights the growing tension among top contenders in the lightweight division, where trash talk and online exchanges have become increasingly common. While Pimblett remains one of the UFC's most popular personalities, moments like this give his critics fresh ammunition, especially those who believe his grappling has been overstated. For Tsarukyan, the situation was an opportunity to reinforce his reputation as one of the division's most elite wrestlers and grapplers. Known for his physical strength, relentless pressure, and high-level wrestling pedigree, Tsarukyan has long argued that his skill set separates him from many of the sport's rising stars. As the lightweight division continues to heat up, exchanges like this only add fuel to potential future matchups. Whether this online rivalry ever translates into an actual fight remains to be seen. But for now, Tsarukyan has made it clear he's not taking Pimblett's grappling claims seriously. Daniel Cormier has opened up about his current relationship with longtime rival Jon Jones, making it clear that despite time passing, their rivalry is far from settled. While some fans believe that coaching opposite each other in Thailand might ease the tension between the two former champions, Cormier revealed that the experience only reignited their competitive instincts. Speaking in a recent video on his YouTube channel, Cormier explained that although he and Jones are cordial on the surface, they still argue frequently whenever they are around each other. According to Cormier, the competitive energy between them never disappears and often escalates into heated debates. What begins as casual interaction quickly turns into challenges, with both men pushing each other to prove who is superior. Cormier revealed that their arguments even went as far as discussing a potential boxing match. He said he agreed to face Jones under strict boxing rules if the opportunity ever arose. However, the topic that caused the most tension was wrestling. Cormier stated confidently that he would beat Jones in a true American freestyle wrestling match, emphasizing that this belief stems from Jones previously suggesting an exhibition grappling or charity wrestling match between them. While Cormier acknowledged that he and Jones will likely never see eye to eye on a personal level, he made it clear that the mutual respect they share as fighters is rooted in an unshakable desire to compete. For Cormier, the rivalry is less about personal animosity and more about two elite athletes who are wired to measure themselves against one another. The comments offer a rare glimpse into the dynamic between two of the most dominant fighters in MMA history. Even years after their last fight, the competitive fire remains strong on both sides. Whether in boxing, wrestling, or pure debate, the tension between Daniel Cormier and Jon Jones continues to live on, reminding fans why their rivalry remains one of the most intense in UFC history. Diego Lopez has taken a brutally honest look back at his first fight with Alexander Volkanovski, admitting that a major strategic mistake cost him the opportunity to perform at his best. In a recent interview, Lopez explained that he became overly focused on landing a single fight-ending punch, which caused him to abandon many of the tools and habits he had worked on throughout his training camp. According to Lopez, his mindset during the fight was flawed from the start. Rather than fighting with patience and flow, he chased a one-punch knockout and lost sight of the fundamentals that define his style. He admitted that in doing so, he forgot some of the most important aspects of his preparation. More importantly, Lopez said he failed to enjoy the moment, something he believes is essential to his success. He explained that when he is relaxed, present, and enjoying the fight, he becomes far more dangerous than when he is forcing outcomes. Lopez also acknowledged that ego played a significant role in how the fight unfolded. Heading into the matchup, he believed his preparation was already sufficient and didn't feel the need to address smaller weaknesses in his camp. After the loss, however, he realized that several aspects of his training environment were far from ideal. One of the biggest changes Lopez has made ahead of the rematch is securing a private gym exclusively for himself and his team. He explained that his previous camp was filled with distractions, as he was training alongside too many other people. Those distractions, he believes, prevented him from fully locking in and refining his game plan. With a controlled environment and a dedicated space, Lopez says he can now focus entirely on his development without outside interference. The reflection marks a clear shift in Lopez's approach. Rather than chasing a highlight reel finish, he is committed to fighting with discipline, awareness, and confidence. As he prepares for another opportunity against Volkanovski, Lopez believes these changes will allow him to show a far more complete version of himself inside the cage.